Welcome to the Data Pro News Radio Edition, where we investigate the stories behind the numbers shaping our digital future. I'm Paul, and today we're looking into a revelation that's turning conventional wisdom about AI adoption on its head. Picture this: you walk into any office today and chances are 6 out of 10 people have used artificial intelligence in the past 6 months. But here's where it gets interesting and where our assumptions crumble. The data professionals leading this AI revolution are not the Gen Z digital natives that we've been told to expect, they're millennials, and the implications for how we think about workplace adaptation are staggering. A comprehensive new research report has uncovered demographic patterns in AI platform engagement that challenge everything we thought we knew about who's driving AI adoption in the workplace. The numbers are striking. While we've been fixated on Gen Z as the AI native workforce, it's actually millennials aged 35 to 44 who demonstrate the highest AI expertise levels at 62%, significantly outpacing their younger colleagues. This isn't just about age demographics though. We're looking at a $12 billion consumer AI market that's expanding rapidly, yet facing critical monetization challenges that could reshape how data professionals approach AI integration. Only 3% of users pay for premium AI services, despite 87% of executives expecting Gen AI to boost revenue within 3 years. But here's what makes this investigation particularly urgent for data professionals. The research reveals that career stage creates a distinct engagement style, with profound implications for how organizations should structure their AI adoption strategies. Entry-level workers are using AI without formal company policies, 50% of Gen Z employees to be exact, creating both opportunities and compliance nightmares that data teams have to navigate. The evidence points to something more complex than simple generational preferences. We're seeing millennials emerge as organizational AI champions, leveraging their managerial position to mentor teams while balancing strategic implementation with quality control. Meanwhile, Gen X professionals show cautious but highly focused adoption patterns, prioritizing workplace-centric applications with proven return on investment. What does this mean for data professionals who are trying to adapt their skills and strategies in an AI-driven workplace? Well, the research suggests the understanding that these demographic patterns aren't just academic. It's essential for survival and success in a rapidly evolving field. Today, through the miracle of Google's notebook, Pascal and Charlotte will dissect how these findings should reshape training programs, influence platform selection, and guide strategic decision-making for data teams across different career stages. We'll investigate why cloud engineers score a perfect 100 in AI usage while other sectors lag behind, examine the surprising role of educational level in advanced AI adoption, and uncover what the integration of synthetic data means for the future of market research and data collection. This isn't just about keeping up with technology, it's about understanding the human factors that determine success or failure in AI implementation. The data tells a story of generational complexity, professional adaptation, and strategic opportunities that could define the next decade of data work. So let's decode those patterns and discover what they really mean to you.
Have you ever stopped to wonder, truly, who is embracing artificial intelligence in their daily lives right now? Are we talking about, the tech-savvy teenagers or maybe the seasoned professionals, or is it someone else entirely? And where exactly are the biggest impacts of AI being felt in our world today? It kind of feels like AI is everywhere, doesn't it? But pinpointing its actual reach and really understanding the nuances of its adoption, well, that can be surprisingly tricky. We hear so much about AI's potential, sure, but who are the real winners in this rapidly evolving landscape, and frankly, who might be finding themselves on the losing end, at least for now?
And that's precisely the mission of this deep dive today. We're here to, peel back the layers and really unpack the complex, evolving landscape of AI adoption. Our focus is squarely on the surprising demographic patterns, looking at age, different career stages, the shifts happening within various professions, and even which specific platforms are truly leading the charge, and importantly, why. Our goal here is to use verified, pretty robust data from multiple leading research organizations. We want to cut through the noise, reveal some genuinely surprising facts, and help you understand these emerging, often unexpected patterns of AI use, patterns that are shaping our present, and let's be honest, most certainly our future. We want to give you a clear, informed picture, not just of what's happening, but why it really matters to you.
Okay, let's dive in then. Let's unpack this, starting with just how many people are already plugging into AI. Because the sheer scale of current usage, well, that might just be the first big surprise for you. Our deep dive reveals that frankly, striking 61% of American adults have used AI in just the past 6 months alone. 61%.
Yeah, it's a huge number.
And here's a figure that really underscores its integration into daily life. Nearly 1 in 5, so that's 20%, are actually relying on it daily.
Daily. That's not trivial usage.
Not at all. That's a significant chunk of the population engaging with AI, not just occasionally, but as a regular, almost ingrained part of their routine.
That's a powerful starting point, and it's really crucial to understand, like you hinted, that these aren't just anecdotal figures floating around, based on small surveys or guesswork. This data is built on a remarkably robust foundation. And sources have been careful, to address many of the methodological limitations we've sometimes seen in previous, maybe less rigorous studies. We're drawing from comprehensive analyses. For instance, there's the McKinsey 2025 study that surveyed over 3,600 employees and 238 C-level executives across multiple countries. And a huge chunk of that, 81%, was U.S.-based, collected really recently, October-November 2024. So it's fresh data covering both employee and executive perspectives.
Okay, so enterprise insights too, not just consumers.
Exactly. And we also incorporate findings from the Menlo Ventures Consumer AI Report that looked at over 5,000 U.S. adults, so that gives us the broad consumer usage pattern. Then there's the Randstad Work Monitor Pulse Survey, which specifically focused on multi-generational workplace AI adoption. That gives us a critical lens on how different age groups are embracing it or maybe resisting it professionally. And finally, the Qualtrics 2025 Market Research Trends Report. That covered over 3,000 researchers across 14 countries, offering a specialized view of AI's impact on a very data-intensive industry. So the point is, this isn't just about collecting lots of data points. It's about integrating verified, large-scale data from diverse, reputable sources. That gives us a truly statistically validated, accurate, and kind of multifaceted picture of what's really happening on the ground. We can say with pretty high confidence this is a reliable snapshot of current reality.
It certainly sounds like a very broad, very deep foundation, not just a fleeting snapshot. And its extensive research, it also helps us highlight the key predictors of AI adoption and engagement, right? Because it's not just random. It really seems to come down to several key factors.
Yeah.
Your age, your current career stage, your professional background, of course, your educational level, and even geographic factors play a role. These all play a very significant and often interconnected role in determining how and why people are engaging with AI, and who's truly benefiting from it right now. And here's where it gets really interesting, I think, and perhaps where it challenges some of our common, maybe deeply held assumptions about who the AI natives truly are. Contrary to what many might think, we often picture Gen Z, right? Born with a smartphone in hand, practically.
Technically coding in the womb, yeah.
Exactly. It turns out that millennials, specifically those aged 35 to 44, are actually leading the charge in terms of AI expertise. Our deep dive reveals that a striking 62% of millennials in this age group report strong expertise with AI. That's the highest proficiency level of any age group, which makes them, maybe surprisingly, the true expert adopters.
That is a fascinating insight, isn't it? It really reframes the narrative. These millennials, they're not just sort of comfortable with AI, they're integrating it strategically, deeply into their daily work. A remarkable 90% of them report being comfortable using generative AI at work. 90%. And this isn't just passive comfort. It translates directly into active leadership. Think about this. 2/3 of managers, and that's a role disproportionately filled by millennials in this specific age bracket, are fielding AI-related questions weekly.
Wow, weekly.
Weekly. This positions them squarely as crucial organizational AI mentors. They're bridging that gap between this nascent technology and its practical real-world application across their teams.
That makes sense when you think about it. I mean, this generation grew up just as the internet and digital tools were becoming mainstream in the workplace, right? They mastered early productivity software, online collaboration.
Yep.
Like technology is kind of embedded in their professional DNA.
Precisely. And now, as many move into leadership and management roles, they're perfectly positioned to translate that digital fluency into strategic AI integration. They're not just experimenting casually. They're acting almost as architects of AI in the workplace. They're focusing on how these tools can drive tangible productivity gains and reshape workflows, not just play around.
So what platforms are they leaning towards? Does that reflect this strategic approach?
It absolutely does. Their platform preferences show this workplace-first mindset. They gravitate towards Microsoft Copilot. Why? Because of its deep integration within those familiar Microsoft 365 environments. Word, Excel, Outlook, Teams. Imagine asking Word to draft a memo based on recent emails, or having Excel instantly analyze complex data and suggest formulas. It leverages AI right there in their existing context. No need to jump between applications.
Yeah, low friction.
Exactly. ChatGPT remains highly popular too, of course, for its sheer versatility in professional applications. It's adaptable to a huge range of tasks, drafting complex emails, brainstorming business strategies, summarizing lengthy reports, you name it. And Claude is often chosen specifically for high-quality writing and more analytical tasks, things that demand precision, nuance, maybe handling longer context, which is crucial for, say, crafting executive summaries or detailed analytical reports. They're seeking tools that genuinely augment their strategic thinking and the quality of their output.
Okay, so if millennials are the unexpected expert adopters, strategically integrating AI into their managerial roles, what about Gen Z, the ones we thought were the AI natives, aged 18 to 24? How do they truly stack up when you peel back those layers of perception?
Well, the data provides a really important nuance here. It's not quite as simple as the native label suggests. While a high percentage, 70% of Gen Z, are using generative AI regularly, only 50% report extensive AI familiarity. Now, that's significantly lower than those core millennials we just talked about, which truly challenges that AI native assumption.
So high usage, but maybe less deep expertise.
It suggests something like that. While they are certainly experimental, very quick to pick up new tools, highly comfortable with digital interfaces, their depth of understanding or, expertise maybe isn't as widespread yet as we might have thought. They might be using it a lot, but perhaps not always fully grasping its underlying mechanics or limitations. Still exploring, perhaps.
But they are using it actively, even at work.
Oh, absolutely. Their engagement patterns are incredibly dynamic, very proactive. 50% half of Gen Z employees are already using generative AI at work, often even when their companies haven't established formal policies around it yet.
That's a huge point. Using it without formal company policies. That speaks volumes about their comfort level, doesn't it? Just diving in.
It really does. Randstad research backs this up, indicating 34% are actively engaging with AI, specifically for work-related tasks. So this isn't just casual experimentation. It's integrated into their professional workflow, even if it's informal, sometimes under the radar. It shows a strong willingness to bypass traditional structures to leverage new capabilities they see value in. We see 1 in 10 using AI tools daily, and 20% report weekly usage. So it's consistent, even if sometimes unguided, application of these technologies. They're truly the early explorers, eager to see what's possible.
And they seem optimistic about its potential.
Very much so. 3 out of 5 Gen Z individuals believe AI can free up their time for more meaningful, creative, or strategic work. That belief really drives their high experimental comfort. They're comfortable with advanced prompting techniques, trying to push the boundaries of the tools, experimenting with complex prompts to get highly specific outputs, maybe even role-playing with AI to simulate scenarios. They're not just users, they're probers.
Interesting. And they use multiple platforms, too, you mentioned.
Yes, that's another key characteristic. They average about 2.3 different AI platforms. This points to their willingness to explore, to mix and match, to tailor tools to specific needs, rather than just sticking to one go-to. And their creative applications really stand out. 45% use AI for creative projects, compared to an overall average of just 28%. That's a significant lean towards innovative, expressive uses, generating unique art, music, developing storylines for personal projects. Their primary use cases underscore this. A remarkable 61% use AI for education and learning. That's the highest of any generation. Alongside that, research assistance, creative content generation, and academic writing are big ones. They really see AI as an invaluable study partner and a creative collaborator.
Okay, so what specific platforms resonate most with Gen Z then?
Their top choices reflect this mix of learning, creativity, and research. ChatGPT is huge for its sheer versatility and learning capabilities. It acts as a general knowledge source, a brainstorming partner, and explainer. Character.ai is a favorite for that creative exploration and interactive, character-driven side. It allows them to engage with AI personalities, fictional characters, historical figures, customized creations. It fosters creative writing, role-playing, or sometimes just entertaining conversations, almost like a personalized interactive storybook. And Perplexity is increasingly favored for research tasks. It leverages conversational search, but critically, it cites its sources, academic journals, news articles, verified databases. That provides direct, evidence-based answers, which is key for academic work.
But it's not all smooth sailing for Gen Z either, is it? I think you mentioned there's a segment that's maybe not quite on board despite this widespread adoption.
That's a critical nuance. You're right. It's not a monolithic group. Despite their overall high experimentation, a notable 42% of Gen Z exhibit some resistance, or maybe just slower adoption rates. This group might be more wary of AI's implications, perhaps job security, privacy concerns, authenticity questions. However, what's interesting is that when this segment does adopt AI, their workplace usage proportions tend to be higher.
Oh, interesting. So initial hesitation, but then deep integration.
It suggests something like that. While there might be initial hesitancy for some, once they commit, perhaps seeing its pragmatic value outweighs their reservations, they integrate it deeply into their professional lives. It means organizations trying to integrate AI really need to understand that even within this quote-unquote AI native generation, there are distinct segments with varying levels of comfort and different paths to adoption.
Okay, so we've got the millennial experts driving strategic use, the experimental Gen Z pushing boundaries, sometimes informally. Let's shift gears to the more cautious segments. What about Generation X? Those folks aged, what, 43 to 58, often in significant leadership or professional roles.
Generation X, yes, we're calling them the cautious professionals, and they present a quite distinct adoption pattern. Their overall AI adoption rate sits at 34%, lower than millennials and Gen Z for sure. However, their workplace application rate jumps significantly to 53%. That difference between personal and professional usage is quite pronounced.
So much more focused on work applications than just general use.
Exactly. It signals a clear preference. They primarily engage with AI for proven practical uses directly related to their work. They seem less interested in novelties or just exploring, and much more focused on tangible benefits. Their approach is really characterized by a strong emphasis on quality control, accuracy, and reliability. They're not just experimenting, they're implementing, often with a more conservative approach, focusing on a clear return on investment, or ROI. For Gen X, AI isn't so much about abstract exploration, it's about efficiency and proven benefits within their established professional frameworks. They want tools that augment their existing workflows, not necessarily revolutionize them overnight.
And their platform choices reflect that practicality.
They do. Microsoft Copilot is again a favorite, largely because of that familiar integration with the office environment. It lets them enhance productivity within tools they already know well without a steep learning curve. They also place high value on industry-specific AI tools, things designed for specialized applications within their fields, maybe predictive analytics in finance or supply chain optimization in manufacturing. These tools often have proven track records and very clear use cases. And ChatGPT tends to be used for general assistance when a clear, practical need arises, summarizing a complex report quickly, drafting routine communications rather than for those open-ended creative tasks we saw more with Gen Z. For Gen X, it's about enhancing existing expertise and ensuring robust, reliable outcomes.
Okay, makes sense. And then at the other end of the spectrum, we have the baby boomers, those aged 59 and older. How are they engaging with AI, or are they?
Well, for baby boomers, the selective users, AI adoption is understandably lower. Only about 20% report using AI at all, and a really significant 80% say they've never used it. Furthermore, data shows only 22% of those aged 65 and above report having extensive AI familiarity. Their engagement when it happens often leans heavily towards convenience and accessibility. We see 30.8% using virtual assistants like Siri or Alexa weekly for personal assistance.
Oh, so voice assistants are a key entry point.
No, very much so. It highlights a strong preference for voice-first interfaces and generally simple, single-purpose applications that require minimal technical interaction. For this demographic, trust building is absolutely paramount. They're less likely to jump into complex generative AI models. They need clear value demonstration, what's in it for me, and a really low barrier to entry to see the benefit. Think of it less as learning a new technology and more as making existing technology easier to use. No. So their platform preferences include these voice assistants that respond to natural language, simple user-friendly web interfaces that are intuitive and not cluttered, and AI functionalities that are seamlessly integrated into platforms or devices they already know and trust, like maybe AI features within their email or photo apps. Smooth or unobtrusive is key.
Wow. So from the millennial experts leveraging AI strategically at work to the experimental Gen Z pushing boundaries even without policies, then the cautious Gen X prioritizing practical applications, and finally the selective baby boomers preferring simple integrated tools. These distinct generational patterns really do highlight the need for incredibly tailored strategies, don't they? It's not just about what the technology can do, but how different generations want and need to interact with it.
Precisely. And that has huge implications. If you're an organization trying to roll out AI, or if you're a developer creating AI tools, understanding these differences is absolutely key. You just can't use a one-size-fits-all approach for training or for platform design. What resonates with a Gen Z user seeking creative exploration won't necessarily appeal to a Gen X professional focused on ROI or a baby boomer looking for a simple voice command. These insights really underscore the need for customized training, tailored platform features, even different communication strategies. Otherwise, you risk significant adoption gaps and, frankly, failed implementation efforts, no matter how powerful the technology itself might be.
Okay, this naturally brings us to a crucial question, touching on that winners and losers angle we mentioned earlier. How does AI impact individuals at different points in their careers? Let's start with entry-level workers, those with, say, 0 to 3 years of experience. They seem to be in what we're calling the disruption zone. That sounds concerning.
It's an unfortunately accurate description, yes. Entry-level workers are indeed facing significant challenges directly attributable to AI automation. The data is pretty stark, and it's a rapidly unfolding reality. A staggering 86% of executives are actively planning to replace at least some entry-level roles with AI. And we're already seeing profound impacts. There's been a 50% drop in entry-level consulting hires since just 2023, 50%. And recent graduates are experiencing higher unemployment rates, largely because AI can now automate many tasks previously performed by those just starting out. It's fundamentally reshaping that traditional talent pipeline.
Wow. So how are these entry-level workers engaging with AI then? Is it different?
Their engagement is heavily learning-focused, almost out of necessity, like a matter of survival in this new landscape. They're trying to acquire new skills, get training to remain relevant. They leverage AI for task automation, handling routine, repetitive work like data entry, basic report generation, initial customer inquiries, things AI can now do very efficiently, sometimes more accurately. And crucially, they also use it for career development, leveraging tools for resume writing, practicing interview responses with AI simulations, even using AI for overall career planning and skill gap analysis to figure out what new competencies they need to acquire. Their platform usage reflects this urgency. Educational AI platforms for continuous learning, career development tools specifically for job searching and skill building, and general-purpose AI to broaden their knowledge base and adapt. It's a really demanding environment requiring constant adaptation.
It sounds like a real sink or swim moment for new grads, where proactive upskilling with AI becomes not just a benefit, but an absolute necessity. Okay, so while entry level faces this significant disruption, how do mid-career and senior professionals leverage AI, and what are their own sets of challenges?
Well, mid-career professionals, typically those with around 4 to 15 years of experience, they're emerging as the productivity powerhouses in this AI revolution. They show a higher adoption rate compared to older workers, about 17% adoption versus 13% for workers over 50. And what's really telling is that an impressive 85% of them report improved efficiency when using AI tools. They're seeing tangible benefits. Their focus is clearly on productivity enhancement and more strategic applications. They're transforming their roles from simply executing tasks to more critically analyzing information and leading initiatives.
So what kinds of tasks are they using AI for?
They're leveraging AI for more complex problem solving, maybe optimizing operational processes, or identifying subtle market opportunities hidden in vast data sets. They use AI for sophisticated data analysis and interpretation, turning raw information into actionable business insights, identifying trends in customer behavior or financial markets, for example. AI also assists them significantly in project management and planning, automating scheduling, resource allocation, risk assessment, allowing them to manage more complex projects with greater precision. And importantly, they're often at the forefront of team leadership regarding AI, implementing AI solutions to boost overall team productivity and streamline collaborative workflows. They are the ones really integrating AI into day-to-day operations to make significant gains.
Okay, productivity powerhouses. And then at the very top are senior professionals, 15 plus years experience. You call them strategic leaders, but also mention they're navigating significant internal tensions. That sounds like a complex balancing act.
It absolutely is. Senior professionals are indeed these strategic leaders steering the AI ship, but they carry the burden of significant organizational tension that comes with it. 2/3 of executives report experiencing tension stemming from AI adoption. This often manifests as real organizational implementation challenges, sometimes even division within teams. And this tension can arise from very legitimate concerns about AI replacing long-held expertise. Imagine a senior financial analyst seeing AI automate tasks they spend decades perfecting. That can lead to resistance or deep unease among seasoned colleagues. The challenge isn't just technical, it's profoundly human and cultural.
So their role with AI is less hands-on, more high-level.
Generally, yes. Their engagement is less about direct hands-on usage of the tools themselves and more about strategic oversight of the AI initiatives and governance. Ensuring AI is adopted responsibly, ethically, aligned with company goals. They take on a critical role in quality control, focusing on the accuracy, compliance, potential biases of AI outputs, recognizing the high stakes involved in decisions made at their level. And perhaps most importantly, senior professionals are leading the change management efforts, guiding their organizations, their teams, through the often uncomfortable process of adopting AI, reshaping workflows, addressing concerns, fostering a culture of adaptation. They have to balance the immense promise of AI with the practical human and organizational hurdles of integrating it. They're the bridge between innovation and established systems, tradition, and transformation.
So really, what this all means for your career path? Well, understanding these dynamics seems crucial for navigating the evolving job market. If you're entry level, it sounds like it's about rapid upskilling and adapting to automation. If you're mid-career, it's about leveraging AI for a maximum productivity and strategic impact. And if you're senior, it's about leading the charge while managing those inherent tensions and guiding your organization through this major shift. It's a landscape of really profound changes, and your position within it dictates a pretty unique approach to AI.
That sums it up well. It's not a uniform experience at all.
Now, beyond individual career paths and generational differences, how does AI adoption vary across different industries and professions? Where is AI truly taking hold? And maybe just as importantly, where is it meeting resistance or finding slower adoption?
Well, perhaps unsurprisingly, the technology sector is at the absolute forefront. It's acting as a major accelerant for AI's broader integration everywhere else. Cloud engineers, for example, lead with a perfect 100 AI usage score. That reflects their deep immersion in AI-driven tools and the cloud infrastructure needed to deploy and manage AI models. And this is backed up by, get this, a staggering 32 million monthly Google searches for AI-related tools. That indicates a pervasive, active interest not just in using AI, but in developing and integrating it. Software engineers also show an incredibly high AI usage rate, 97%. That's the highest among all professions studied. This isn't just about using a chatbot. It's fundamentally reshaping how technology is built and deployed, with AI assisting in code generation, debugging, system design.
It sounds like AI is becoming part of the toolkit itself in tech.
Exactly. The tech sector overall has an AI usage score of 99. A clear leader. Furthermore, looking at specific tools, 37.2% of Claude usage comes from computer and mathematical occupations. That shows a strong preference for AI tools that support their core analytical and problem-solving tasks. Things like data processing and analysis for machine learning, system design, product development, and innovation using AI to prototype. This level of adoption isn't just about using a tool, it's about AI becoming an integral part of the innovation process itself.
That's a staggering level of integration in tech, almost like AI is weaving itself into the very fabric of software development. But what about other sectors? Are there other high adoption areas or places where AI is proving to be maybe a tougher sell?
Absolutely. Beyond core tech, we see high adoption in several other sectors, often driven by the promise of efficiency gains or enhanced customer experience. Customer support, for instance, shows a 74% AI usage rate, and there are 29 million monthly searches related to AI tools in that space. This signifies a rapid shift towards AI-powered chatbots, virtual assistants handling routine inquiries, maybe sophisticated sentiment analysis tools helping agents understand caller emotion. It enhances customer experience and operational efficiency.
Automating the front lines, essentially.
In many ways, yes. Data science also stands out, with 76% of professionals using AI tools. And there are 52 dedicated courses available, highlighting AI's critical role in advanced analytics, predictive modeling, machine learning development. Here, AI isn't just a tool, it's often the core methodology. Media and entertainment, along with the telecom sector, are also poised for a significant transformation. 2/3 of professionals in those fields anticipate major AI-driven changes soon. Things like AI-assisted content creation, personalized recommendations in media, or network optimization and predictive maintenance in telecom.
Okay, so a lot of expected change in those areas. But what about the sectors where adoption is slower, more cautious?
Right. On the other end of the spectrum, we see lower or more cautious adoption in areas like the public sector, aerospace and defense, and semiconductors. In these industries, only about 20% of professionals expect significant near-term changes driven by AI. This is often due to factors like more stringent regulatory environments, maybe exceptionally long development cycles, where established, proven technologies are valued highly, and often critical safety considerations, where the stakes of an AI error are just astronomically high.
And the legal field falls into that cautious category too, right?
Very much so. Legal professionals show historically low adoption rates. They represent only 0.9% of Claude usage. For example, that was the lowest among all professions examined. This conservative approach in law is largely driven by critical concerns around regulatory compliance, huge ethical implications, and the absolute necessity of accuracy and reliability. Even a minor error can have catastrophic consequences for a client. So their current applications of AI are very focused and controlled, primarily for tasks like document review and analysis, sifting through vast amounts of discovery material, for example, legal research and case preparation, compiling precedents quickly, contract analysis and drafting, where AI might highlight inconsistencies or suggest clauses, but always with a human expert making the final call. And various compliance and regulatory tasks. They are adopting AI, yes, but with extreme caution and in very specific, verifiable ways. Emphasizing AI as an assistant, definitely not a decision maker.
That makes perfect sense, given the stakes involved. Now, let's talk about an industry where AI seems to be truly revolutionary, changing the very foundation of how they gather information. Market research and data collection. This sounds like a complete paradigm shift.
It really is a groundbreaking area, and it's happening incredibly fast. A remarkable 71% of market researchers now agree that synthetic responses, that's data generated by AI, not collected directly from humans, will likely comprise more than half of all data collection within just the next 3 years.
More than half from synthetic data. Wow.
Yeah. And the results so far are overwhelmingly positive. There's an 87% satisfaction rate among researchers who are already using these synthetic responses. This isn't just about efficiency, it's fundamentally rethinking the raw material of insight itself.
What are the main benefits driving this shift?
There are several profound benefits. First, AI-generated data offers enhanced privacy compliance. That's critical with regulations like GDPR. Instead of handling sensitive personal data from thousands, researchers can generate realistic personas that mimic human behavior without actual personal identifiers. Second, it drastically reduces costs associated with traditional methods. No more large-scale human surveys or focus groups needed for certain types of insights. Third, it massively speeds up the process from weeks down to hours or even minutes, allowing for much more real-time insights. And fourth, it allows for enhanced sample diversity. Researchers can reach hard-to-reach demographics or simulate niche populations that might be underrepresented in traditional surveys, potentially giving a more comprehensive view. It's a fundamental shift from direct human interaction to AI-mediated data generation for large-scale analysis.
It's incredible to think about the impact of synthetic data. It really paints a picture of how AI isn't just optimizing existing tasks, but fundamentally changing methodologies and even the very concept of data.
Exactly. And while there's a substantial, maybe 95%, similarity in how AI is applied across industries, meaning core tasks like data analysis, content generation, communication, are universally useful. These nuances and specializations, like what we see in legal or market research, remain critically important. Understanding these industry-specific patterns allows us to appreciate that while AI's potential is broad, its most impactful applications are often deeply integrated into the unique workflows, regulatory environments, and specific challenges of each sector. It's about customizing universal capabilities.
Okay, this is probably a good point to get practical. If you're listening and wondering, okay, which AI platforms are actually being used the most and by whom? Well, this next section is definitely for you. We're going to break down the top AI platforms based on these demographic preferences we've been discussing. It's not just about what's popular overall, but what fits the specific needs, workflows, and even learning styles of different groups. This is where we see the practical choices people are making on the ground.
Right, this is where the rubber really meets the road in terms of AI adoption. The choices users make in platforms are often a direct reflection of their age, their professional needs, and how they're trying to integrate AI into their lives. So let's break it down by generation first. For Gen Z, their platform preferences really lean into that versatility, accessibility, and creative exploration we talked about. ChatGPT is definitely their top choice, valued for its conversational versatility learning, general problem solving across academic tasks, brainstorming, explaining concepts. Character.ai comes in strong, highlighting their interest in creative applications and those interactive, character-driven experiences. Engaging with AI personalities for creative writing, role-playing, or just fun. And Perplexity is favored for research tasks, mainly because it distinguishes itself by citing its sources from academic journals, news articles, etc., crucial for academic integrity.
Okay, ChatGPT, Character.ai, Perplexity for Gen Z. What about millennials, our expert adopters?
Moving to millennials, their choices clearly reflect that strategic workplace-focused approach, aiming to boost productivity and leadership. Microsoft Copilot is a strong preference, specifically because of its deep integration within Microsoft 365 Word, Excel, Outlook, enhancing productivity right within their existing workflows. ChatGPT remains highly popular for its broad professional versatility. Drafting detailed emails, summarizing reports, brainstorming business strategies, it's a workhorse. And Claude is often chosen for high-quality writing and more demanding analytical tasks, indicating a need for sophisticated, nuanced AI assistance for professional outputs that require precision and maybe longer context handling.
Got it. Copilot, ChatGPT, Claude for millennials, now Gen X, the cautious professionals.
For Gen X users, they opt for tools offering practicality, proven benefits, and reliability. Microsoft Copilot again features prominently, mainly for that seamless Office integration. It aligns with their preference for established tools that augment existing workflows without a big learning curve. ChatGPT provides general assistance, used more for straightforward tasks, quickly drafting a memo, summarizing meeting notes rather than open-ended experimentation. And they also frequently use industry-specific AI tools, prioritizing specialized applications relevant to their professional domains that offer clear, measurable ROI. Think CAD design AI in engineering or specific financial modeling tools.
Makes sense. Copilot, ChatGPT, and specialized tools for Gen X. And finally, baby boomers.
Finally, baby boomers, the selective users, gravitate towards simplicity, ease of use, and convenience. Voice assistants like Siri and Alexa are their primary AI interaction points, valued for hands-free convenience and an intuitive interface for personal tasks, weather, reminders, simple questions. They prefer simple web interfaces, generally avoiding complex dashboards or features requiring lots of navigation. They value a direct, uncluttered user experience. And they lean towards integrated tools within familiar platforms, where AI functions are embedded into existing, trusted services without requiring them to learn something entirely new, making familiar devices more helpful.
Okay, so we can clearly see how age influences the type of AI engagement and the specific tools chosen. But what about professional alignment? Do different jobs lead to different AI tool preferences, even maybe within the same age group?
Oh, absolutely. The specific demands and daily tasks of a profession directly shape the choice of AI tools. Professionals actively seek out solutions that address their unique challenges and fit into their workflows. For example, technology workers. Their platform choices are deeply embedded in their development and problem-solving processes. GitHub Copilot is huge for coding and development. It acts like an AI pair programmer, suggesting code snippets, completing functions, significantly speeding up development. ChatGPT serves for general problem-solving, brainstorming algorithms, understanding new concepts, even helping debug code by explaining errors. Claude is often used for technical documentation, generating clear explanations of complex systems, summarizing design specs, assisting with research for new architectures.
Right, tools tailored to coding and documentation. What about, say, healthcare professionals?
Healthcare professionals lean towards specialized and highly reliable tools that support critical, very sensitive tasks. Specialized medical AI tools are becoming increasingly crucial. Things like advanced image recognition, AI analyzing MRI scans or X-rays for subtle signs of disease, or AI-powered diagnostic assistance suggesting potential diagnoses based on symptoms and history. Reliability and validation are key here. ChatGPT might be used for research and communication tasks, summarizing medical literature, drafting patient information leaflets, assisting with administrative comms, and voice-to-text systems are vital for documentation, allowing quick, efficient, hands-free note-taking during patient interactions, reducing admin burden, and improving record accuracy.
And one more, maybe financial services.
Sure, financial services professionals prioritize tools for rigorous analysis, risk management, and often client communication. Microsoft Copilot is a key tool here, especially for its powerful Excel integration, enabling complex financial modeling, data manipulation, rapid report generation from large data sets. ChatGPT assists with analysis and reporting, summarizing market trends, drafting client communications, exploring hypothetical financial scenarios. And they use specialized financial AI platforms for sophisticated tasks, like risk assessment, identifying potential fraud patterns, optimizing trading strategies, managing complex investment portfolios, tools built specifically for the demands of finance.
Yeah, this isn't just about what's popular overall. It's about how different tools serve very specific needs and workflows. It really shows that AI adoption isn't monolithic at all. It's deeply ingrained in the practical realities of people's lives and professions. Understanding these platform choices seems critical for anyone developing or deploying AI solutions. It tells you exactly what problem users are trying to solve and how they prefer to solve it. This granular view feels essential for effective AI integration.
Couldn't agree more. That level of understanding is vital.
Okay, so beyond age, career stage, and profession, our deep dive also reveals other significant factors influencing AI adoption that speak to broader societal trends. Let's broaden the discussion slightly to include education and geography, as these also play a surprisingly strong role in who adopts AI and how.
They really do. Education level in particular shows a clear and quite compelling correlation with AI engagement patterns. For those with a bachelor's degree and above, we see a distinct advantage in adoption and usage complexity. 51% of current AI users hold a bachelor's degree or higher, and an impressive 22% even have postgraduate qualifications. Now, contrast that sharply with non-AI users, where only 39% have a bachelor's degree or higher. It's a significant gap.
And does that educational background correlate with how they use AI?
It seems to. Individuals with higher education are more likely to engage in more complex tasks with AI leveraging it for sophisticated analysis, critical thinking, abstract problem solving, maybe synthesizing academic research, or developing intricate models. They also tend to be multi-platform adopters, remember that Gen Z stat. Well, across the board, higher education correlates with using an average of 2.1 different AI platforms. This speaks to their ability, perhaps comfort, in tailoring tools to diverse knowledge-intensive tasks and integrating AI more deeply into their intellectual processes. Their focus is often on high-value, knowledge-intensive applications, using AI to augment their intellectual capabilities.
Okay, so the more educated you are, generally, the more likely you are to use AI, perhaps in more complex ways and across more platforms. What about those with some college education or less? How does their engagement differ?
For individuals with some college or less education, the patterns are indeed different, and it highlights a potential access and literacy gap. A significant 51% of non-AI users fall into this category. Their engagement with AI, when it does occur, tends to have a more practical, immediate focus. They often prefer simple, immediate value applications that address direct needs rather than complex analytical tasks. For example, they might use AI for quick information retrieval, basic writing assistance, simple image generation for personal use, things with an immediate tangible output. And they also typically stick to a single familiar platform, suggesting a preference for simplicity and ease of use over exploring multiple, potentially more complex tools. This really highlights an educational gap in AI literacy and adoption. It suggests that without maybe formal education pathways or structured training specifically on AI, usage tends to remain less sophisticated and less widespread. It points to a clear need for accessible foundational AI training programs designed for this demographic to bridge that gap.
Ensuring equitable participation in this AI-driven economy feels crucial there. And it's not just about what's in your head, educationally, but also where you live, right? You mentioned the physical landscape. The urban-rural digital divide also plays a crucial role.
Absolutely. Geographic factors, particularly that urban-rural divide, significantly influence AI adoption rates and, unfortunately, often reinforce existing economic disparities.
Mm.
Urban workers show notably higher adoption. About 29% of AI users live in urban areas compared to just 24% of non-AI users. This higher rate has multiple reasons. Urban centers typically boast better infrastructure, higher speed internet, more robust IT support, which is pretty fundamental for running many AI applications smoothly. There are also denser professional networks in cities, leading to greater exposure to AI adoption in workplaces and among peers, which kind of fosters a culture of innovation and adoption. And crucially, urban areas often have a higher concentration of industries that are already AI-forward tech, finance, advanced manufacturing, which naturally drives up adoption rates and the demand for AI skills.
Okay, so a combination of infrastructure, networks, and industry concentration in cities. And conversely, what's the picture like in rural areas? Are they being left behind in this AI revolution?
Well, the data suggests there's a real risk of that. In rural areas, we consistently see lower adoption rates. Only 16% of AI users live in rural areas compared to 22% of non-AI users, so underrepresented among AI users. This disparity can often be attributed to several significant barriers. First, infrastructure limitations are a major hurdle, connectivity issues, less reliable high-speed internet access, which can seriously hinder the effective use of cloud-based AI tools. Second, rural economies often have a more traditional industry-focused agriculture, resource extraction, which historically have had maybe less immediate or obvious AI integration points compared to service or tech-based industries, so potentially less perceived direct relevance initially. And finally, There's often limited access to professional development and specialized training opportunities in rural areas, making it harder for individuals to acquire the skills needed to engage confidently with AI. This creates a pretty clear digital divide, where access to the technology and the necessary training is directly linked to geographic location, potentially worsening existing economic inequalities if not addressed.
Yeah, it's clear that access to education and robust infrastructure, they aren't just conveniences anymore, are they? They're really direct gateways to AI engagement and all the benefits that potentially come with it. This paints a comprehensive, albeit sometimes challenging picture of just how multifaceted AI adoption truly is, revealing these layers of, well, privilege and access tied to education and location.
That's a good way to put it.
So, okay, after this really deep dive into who's using AI, where they're using it, and how, let's shift now to the strategic implications. Let's talk about the emerging challenges that arise from these patterns, but also the promising opportunities ahead. What are the key takeaways here for organizations, for developers, for training programs trying to navigate this?
Well, from an organizational standpoint, the research clearly mandates a new approach. It's not really optional anymore. Companies must develop what we might call demographic-aware AI strategies, strategies that explicitly recognize and accommodate these diverse user needs, preferences, and capabilities we've discussed. This isn't just a suggestion. It's really becoming a necessity for successful integration and getting value from AI investments. Practically, this means implementing multi-generational training approaches. For Gen Z, maybe focus on advanced prompting, ethical considerations, and creative AI use. For millennials, emphasize productivity optimization, workflow integration, maybe even leadership training around AI adoption. For Gen X, teach practical, quality-controlled applications with clear ROI demonstrations. And for baby boomers, provide basic usage training focusing on simplified interfaces, clear value propositions, perhaps leveraging voice commands.
So, tailoring the training significantly.
Significantly. And beyond training, organizations need career stage-specific applications, offering AI tools that genuinely aid in career advancement or necessary reskilling, depending on where someone is in their professional journey. They definitely need industry-customized solutions that address sector-specific requirements. A legal AI tool needs different features and safeguards than one for market research, as we saw. And crucially, there must be infrastructure considerations to ensure equitable access and support for all employees, regardless of their location or technical setup. Maybe that means investing in better rural broadband access for remote workers, or choosing cloud-based solutions that don't require high-end local hardware.
Okay, that's for the organizations implementing AI. What about the developers actually creating these powerful tools? What are the actionable takeaways for them from understanding these diverse user groups?
For platform developers, the message is equally clear and critical. They need to design demographic-specific features or at least offer customization options. For younger users like Gen Z, this might mean advanced customization, more creative tools that allow for experimentation, personalization, maybe self-expression, perhaps integrating AI with social media or gaming elements they already use. For professional users, think millennials and Gen X, primarily the focus should be on deep workflow integration and robust collaboration features. Tools that fit seamlessly into existing work processes, allowing teams to leverage AI collectively, not just individually. And for senior users, like baby boomers, the priority must be simplified, highly intuitive interfaces that prioritize ease of use and unwavering reliability. Building trust through clear, concise design and predictable performance is key. The AI should almost disappear into the background, making existing tasks easier without creating new complexities to learn.
Tailoring the product itself. And finally, for those designing the training programs to upskill the workforce, the educators, the L&D departments, what's the guidance for them based on these adoption patterns? How can they effectively prepare people for this AI future?
Training programs really need targeted curriculum development that moves beyond generic Intro to AI courses. This involves creating industry-specific modules that tailor content to unique professional contexts and challenges. Training for healthcare needs to be different from training for finance. There must be skill-level differentiation, matching the complexity of the training to the existing experience levels of the participants, from basic digital literacy right up to advanced AI model deployment for specialists. Critically, training delivery needs to adapt to generational learning styles. Recognizing that different age groups respond best to different methods, maybe active experimentation and project-based learning for Gen Z, problem-solving workshops for millennials, or perhaps more structured, practical demonstrations for Gen X and baby boomers. And finally, continuous assessment and iteration are essential. Regularly evaluate the effectiveness and engagement of these programs, ensuring they remain relevant and impactful as AI technologies evolve so rapidly and the job market continues to shift.
That sounds like a really comprehensive roadmap for navigating the AI revolution responsibly and effectively. But let's be frank about that winners and losers aspect we discussed earlier. What are the major emerging challenges we really need to confront based on these patterns? What are the downsides or risks of this rapid transformation?
The challenges are significant, definitely, and they demand immediate, thoughtful attention from policymakers, educators, and businesses alike. First and foremost is that escalating entry-level job displacement we touched upon. As executives plan to replace roles with AI, and we see higher unemployment for recent grads in some sectors, there's an urgent societal need for innovative new career pathways, apprenticeships, and robust reskilling programs specifically designed to help this demographic adapt and find footing. This isn't just an economic issue, it's a human one, impacting aspirations and stability.
Right, the impact on young careers is concerning. What else?
Second, we have to acknowledge the very real potential for increased generational workplace tension. Managing these diverse AI comfort levels and sometimes wildly different expectations within teams can create friction, misunderstandings, and hinder collaborative efforts. Imagine a veteran employee wary of AI being asked to collaborate closely with a Gen Z colleague who uses AI reflexively. Bridging these divides requires really thoughtful leadership, open communication, and training that respects all comfort levels and experiences.
Yeah, managing that mix sounds tricky.
And third, there's a broader professional identity evolution underway for many people. As AI becomes more deeply integrated, individuals are having to adapt their traditional roles, the very definition of their expertise, to accommodate new AI collaboration models. This can be unsettling and requires a profound shift in mindset about what constitutes skill or value or work. It's moving from just what you know to how effectively you can leverage AI to augment what you know and do.
Those are indeed significant hurdles that require proactive solutions. But as they say, every challenge presents an opportunity, right? What positive trends or chances does this data illuminate that we should be excited about or actively pursue?
Absolutely. The opportunities are equally compelling and paint a potentially very positive future if we approach them strategically and inclusively. We see huge potential, for instance, for cross-generational mentoring. Imagine pairing the experienced wisdom of senior professionals who deeply understand organizational context, client relationships, nuanced problem-solving with the AI fluency and experimental mindset of younger generations. This creates a powerful, synergistic exchange of knowledge and skills that benefits everyone and can foster a truly innovative work environment.
Combining experience with tech fluency makes sense.
Exactly. There's also enormous potential for demographic-specific innovation, developing tailored AI solutions that uniquely cater to the specific needs, preferences, and pain points of different user groups we've identified. This could mean highly intuitive AI tools designed for entrepreneurs, sophisticated analytical AI for seasoned executives, or engaging creative tools purpose-built for emerging artists. More targeted solutions. And finally, perhaps the biggest opportunity is for truly inclusive AI adoption. By understanding these patterns of access and usage across age, education, geography, we can develop targeted interventions. Things like better infrastructure, accessible training, community programs to ensure equitable access, and provide comprehensive, relevant support for everyone. Making sure no one is left behind and the benefits of AI are shared broadly across society.
That brings us neatly to the broader economic picture. You mentioned this consumer AI market has just exploded, reaching $12 billion in, 2.5 years? Incredible growth. But it's facing significant monetization hurdles, isn't it? It seems like there's a big gap between how many people are using these tools and how many are actually willing to pay for them.
It truly is a paradox, and it highlights a critical challenge for the AI industry's long-term sustainability and growth model. Despite the rapid growth in adoption and the perceived value many users get, only about 3% of users currently pay for premium AI services across the board. Take ChatGPT as a prime example. Reports suggest it converts only about 5% of its massive weekly active user base into paid subscribers. That means a vast majority are using incredibly powerful AI essentially for free. Now, if that conversion rate were to improve significantly, even if just to, say, a quarter or a third of active users willing to pay for premium features, the potential market value could skyrocket to an estimated $432 billion annually. The potential is enormous, but the current reality is very different.
So, why the disconnect? Executives seem bullish on AI driving revenue.
There's definitely a disconnect. On one hand, you have 87% of executives anticipating that generative AI will boost revenue within 3 years, with half expecting gains above 5%. They see the potential. Yet, as we've discussed throughout this deep dive, there are these significant implementation gaps between those high executive expectations and the actual employee adoption patterns, the skill levels, the comfort levels on the ground. This creates friction, hinders effective use, and leads to missed opportunities for capturing the value AI could create. The core challenge for AI companies and for businesses implementing AI is demonstrating enough unique, indispensable value beyond the free tier to convince users to open their wallets. What makes the paid version truly worth it?
So while the promise of AI's economic impact is absolutely huge, the path to fully realizing that potential is still very much being paved. And it really hinges on bridging these adoption gaps we've talked about, making sure the technology is not just available, but effectively understood, integrated, used, and ultimately valued by everyone across demographics, career stages, and industries. It's as much about effective integration and value demonstration as it is about pure innovation.
Exactly. Integration, value, and trust.
Okay, so to wrap up this deep dive then, we've seen that AI adoption is far more widespread than many might assume. That 61% of American adults using it in the last 6 months is a huge number. But it's also incredibly nuanced, showing these distinct patterns across generations, career stages, professions, and even geographies. And perhaps the most surprising finding, certainly one worth holding on to, is that millennials, specifically that 35-44 group, not Gen Z, are currently leading the pack in AI expertise and strategic workplace integration. Hopefully this deep dive has given you, our listeners, a clearer, more informed picture of how AI is truly integrating into our lives, highlighting both the exciting opportunities and the critical challenges, and maybe, just maybe, challenge some of your own assumptions along the way.
And building on that, this all raises a really important question for all of us to consider as we move forward. As AI continues its incredibly rapid evolution, driven by relentless innovation, how might these demographic patterns shift? Will Gen Z catch up in expertise? Will Gen X become more experimental? Will boomer adoption increase as interfaces simplify? And crucially, what will these potential shifts mean for our individual roles, our career trajectories, and indeed our collective future in what is undeniably becoming an increasingly AI-driven world? The organizations, and frankly the individuals, that truly understand and adapt to these diverse user needs and evolving adoption patterns will undoubtedly be the ones best positioned not just for survival, but for profound success in the years to come. Understanding the user is key.
A fascinating and vital thought to leave with. Keep exploring, keep questioning, and please join us next time for another deep dive into the topics shaping our world.